that's what the UDO is classified.
Right.
Okay.
I was actually going to bring that up.
I know you have a very large package here, but I think that's
Sure. Back in March, some candidates did come up with songs 60 days prior to the primary. At that time, the three major party chairs in the county would send a letter from Dave Moore, stating the UDO had changed and citing that very line. After receiving that letter, the three party chairs had a meeting on the best way to proceed. Because we didn't want somebody to be discriminated against or left out. So we decided it would be good to come together as a group and ask that the variance for all candidates, regardless of political party. So that's what we're here to ask for, is a variance 60 days prior to the November election and a couple days after, per the Indiana State Code. The reason we're here is not at the town council, is Mr. Williams said that that letter constituted a decision, and so we have to come here to get that decision appealed.
you took, you had to remember the decision.
That's what,
I'm trying to decide if we want to amend the legal or let the authorized legislative body handle it. So what do you, Beth?
So, I guess my first question to you would be, what is your request? Because political signs are allowed in accordance with the UDO, just not in the public right-of-way, just not in these specific locations.
Right.
So are you here actually specifically asking just to put them in a public right-of-way? And that's it, not in any of the other locations? Okay. Procedurally, it's my opinion that the legislative, that this board is the designee of the legislative body because it is a zoning ordinance. So I think it's within the purview of this board to decide whether they want to allow the variance or not. There has been no request to amend the ordinance, so I'm not sure I would go that path or not. So it would just be a matter of, does this board want to authorize these types of signs?
for the November election. I mean, you know, amending the ordinance may take some time, but we just want to get it cleared up so that our candidates are able to do it, something we've been allowed to do in the past. And then when this, you know, this recently being enforced a little bit differently, and I know the UDO was changed at the beginning of last year, so.
Well, this has been in effect, at least this version has been in effect since January 1 of 2019. So whether it was enforced last year or not, I certainly don't have the ability to speak to that. And I don't know whether or not that was in effect before and never enforced, but.
This started in January
2019.
The UDO was passed in 2019, they started enforcing it this year, in 2020, totally differently, sure. But, mostly what we're here for tonight before this board is, can we have permission to put the signs where we've always been able to put the signs, just for the November election this year?
Any questions or discussions from the board here? Comments?
The only thing I want to say, I'm elected precinct committeeman for the Republican Party, so I don't know if I'm going to abstain from this vote. I would not vote just for the Republicans, I would vote for the public. So I'm asking council, should I abstain from this?
I don't think so. Give us your input.
Well, I just want it on the record.
As I understand it, he is appearing and representing all three parties. I don't know if the
And I don't
chairman
know
or all.
independents and greens, whatever, right? Like, we want to come to everybody, we don't want anybody to be discriminated against in this city, so.
Yeah, I just want that stated on the record. Somebody says, well, he's a precinct committeeman, that's the reason he voted this.
It's
I
my
think
opinion.
because this is political signs or no political signs, regardless of the party.
Okay, thank you.
It's my opinion that everyone has to refrain from putting a sign up. Then everybody's playing on a level playing field. And it's a no-brainer. So if you do not allow political signs for any party, there's no party in other comments for the board.
This is just for this November,
Right.
so it's gonna expire.
6 days after the election.
And the state statute that he continues to refer to is not actually, it's not relevant to what you guys have to decide, not to decide. I printed
This
it.
is the time frame.
But that state statute only has to do with the number and size of signs. That's all it has. I have it right here in front of me, because I was afraid that was gonna come up. And that's a guideline that's been issued by the state, but it has to do with something entirely different than this. And just to make this board clear, there's no prohibition in Mooresville on political signs. They can put them on private property. He's just specifically asking for right of ways.
Government-owned property,
Yes,
state and local.
we cannot grant state,
It's
so
just
it will
local.
just be Mooresville.
Okay.
Well, it's just right away, there, it's not all.
I think
More like the islands and
the island is the one that I think that where the most of the signs were placed.
Or the area between the sidewalk and the street in a residential area. If they put it on the other side of the sidewalk, that's private property, they have the authority, anybody can put a sign on their own property. But the area between the sidewalk and the street is considered a right of way, there's no signs allowed there.
So after this election, you guys can visit this, after this election, you guys can visit this, or change the deal necessary, or no?
You can amend an ordinance anytime that you would like, there's a process for that. He's only here requesting that, or that signs be placed up until, he's requesting 60 days before until, I think, 6 days after, just to be similar to what the state statute states. So if this is something that this board entertains, given the parameters he has set, I would encourage you that your motion matches the parameters he has set, so that signs would have to be taken down by that time.
In the past, some of the people running for office had their signs removed, correct? And everyone had their signs removed, right? All parties?
Yes, I had my signs up there, but I used to own the property across the street too. But yes, when I ran for school board, I used that to put my signs up.
Dave, you have a comment?
If we have a UDO, we have an ordinance. I don't think we should amend the ordinance if we have one, I think it needs to be enforced. Until the top of the street goes through the change the ordinance.
Your mask sort of like that.
Yeah, if we have an ordinance, I think we need to follow the ordinance. Why have it if we're not gonna follow it? It's a new ordinance. And once there's a lot of time and effort to go ahead and get it established, I think we need to follow the rules as they're established.
I think along with what you said and I said, if no one is putting a sign there, then no one has an advantage. Anyone from the audience, or are you finished? I'm sorry, are you finished?
Sure, I mean, there may be problems with selective enforcement, or selective enforcement might be something to worry about. But other than that, I think I'm good.
We'll take a vote for that, but I want to ask if anyone from the audience has some comments.
Williams here in Norfolk. I'll just say that in my election in the 2019 season, my campaign was told by the town that I couldn't put my sign up. So I did, I followed the law.
These are other signs.
And again, I won the election without signs being on public property, you know, so.
Were there other signs put up that people didn't put?
No, the Sandra Huber campaign didn't put any up. His campaign didn't put any up. My campaign didn't put any up. So that's just not ever going. It has been. The ordinance was passed in 2018, went into effect in 2019, and I had followed the ordinance in 2019.
Thank you. Any other comments? Yes, sir.
I'm impartial, and I don't vote in Mooresville, but I would say this, if you're going to open a UDO up to any kind of revisions or amendments, it needs to be more comprehensive than just this one item.
Yes.
I brought an issue before the planning commission last month that I thought was an error in the square footage for a B3 use. So maybe you need to look at all those things. Thank you.
Thank Any other comments from the audience? Comments or questions from BZA members?
Well, you know, the UDOs are really documented. We talked about revising it once a year. That was November, so that would actually be after the election. I think that needs to be looked at and brought up in the future. And on with Dave down there about changing the the variance on that.
Okay, so I think it's the opinion of this board that we possibly wait, but I need a motion. Is what we do in the future.
What to do tonight, so it's either a motion to approve the variance request or it's a motion to deny.
So do we have a motion?
So moved.
Motion to deny, we have a motion to deny until we look at the UDO. Do we have a second?
I'll second.
All those in favor?
I'm gonna abstain from the vote.
Okay, all those in favor, did you vote, Dave? Yes, I did. Okay. Did you get it, Brian?
Yes, sir. I just need 2 seconds to write it on there.
Okay. So that will be discussed sometime in the future if we amend some things in the UDO. Next item on the agenda is a variance of Memorial Drive.